Hey, it's Debbie and James here again, and I wanted to talk to you about the difference between IQ, EQ, and SQ. So as we all know, IQ is academic intelligence, EQ is emotional intelligence, and SQ is what we call spiritual intelligence. And why is spiritual intelligence so important to our peace, our happiness, and our connection here?
Well, it's the ability to listen deeply to your inner voice and push that mind chatter aside and connect to some of these greater aspects of yourself than the mind. The mind is an amazing tool, but if it was going to figure everything out, it would have already. And so there's these other dimensions of you, your heart, your spirit, your soul, your superconscious field, all these things people talk about. It can give you great wisdom and guidance throughout your life.
And also understanding SQ is understanding that everything starts off in the invisible world or the energetic world, and then it moves into materialized matter. So having SQ means that you understand how to work with energy and the field of energy.
Yeah, and how to navigate both the physical and the metaphysical. Everything comes from that space, as Debbie was just saying, so it makes sense to understand how does that reality work? How does the invisible world or the world of spirit? And we find when we look into it, there's universal laws, spiritual principles that govern how that reality works. And so it makes a lot of sense to understand what those laws are and how to practically apply them to our lives and to our family, our work, our connection to nature, because they're all very important things that equate to spiritual intelligence.
Yeah. It also means that when you have spiritual intelligence, you're able to read the energy of a room or a person or a situation. So those unspoken words or those invisible things that you can read long before something comes to light. So it's important around honing in, almost like your spidey senses, honing in on what's not there.
And knowing how energy works, because if we're walking around this big energetic soup, of course, a lot of the time people are in stress or they're thinking negative thoughts, and that can impact you. And so it's important to know how to, as Debbie said, read that energy, know how to clear it out of your energy field and out of your house and that of your family, so you can stay energetically clean as well as physically clean.
And also holding your own shape and your own boundaries. So, knowing when you hear truth that's truth for you or not. So it's very hard, sometimes we get entwined into what other people's thoughts and ideas are, and we lose shape of who we are. So spiritual intelligence is about holding your own boundaries and your own shape and knowing what's true for you and what's not true for you.
And spiritual intelligence to us is also understanding that this is just more than just a human reality, because once you start awakening to your spirit and gaining your spiritual intelligence, you understand that everything's alive and we're all in this together. And so you become aware of all these other fields of energy, all this other creation, whether it's nature, the trees, the plants, the animals, all these other fields of nature, and become aware that for us to survive and thrive, they also have to survive and thrive, and that connection to these natural aspects of reality and the universe itself as a whole has been something that's given human beings meaning, purpose, and the machinations and rhythms of nature has kept us healthy and alive for many millions of years. And so it makes sense to understand those and reconnect and harmonize your relationship with these other areas of reality.
Yeah, and it also means that when things happen in your life that are negative, that you take responsibility for that and you don't project that out as a problem with someone else or something else. So it's about understanding your own evolution here, and everything that happens to you is created by you, therefore is fixable by you, which gives you the power back to make change in your life.
You really learn how to become the predominant creative force in your own reality, step into being a powerful creator of your own reality. But then as well, once you're able to do that, you're able to see that you can actually then, from that place, contribute massively to the health, happiness, and harmonic relationships of your family members, your work colleagues, but also things in nature, the plant life, the animal life, and the earth itself, because we're all participating in this one big ecosystem here. And so it's really important, as far as the individual intelligence, the emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence, where we start to think about our whole reality here, other than just our human reality. And so it's a really beautiful way to actually enter into relationship in a beautiful harmonic way with all this other life that we see all around us all the time.
And lastly, I think too, if you think about IQ being intellectual intelligence and EQ being emotional intelligence, one's using the left brain, one's using the right brain. With spiritual intelligence, you're using both brains together. Using the intellectual quotient you have, you're using the emotion, and we go and transcend that into a super conscious or a higher level multi-dimensional problem solving sort of state. So you can see the power of spiritual intelligence should permeate through all the things that we do. And so the courses that we have here at Rezinate School of Spiritual Intelligence is basically all those mechanisms and bits of wisdom that help you to be more peaceful, to find your own happiness and your alignment, and to live harmoniously with all the other beings on this earth, plants, nature, animals, humans. So that's what we see spiritual intelligence as.
Yeah, so I hope you join us on your path to becoming more spiritually intelligent and enlightened.
Hopefully. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.